And
Nice.
how do we, so basically the funny thing is, even though I had a background in sales, great learning, our first version, we never thought we'll do sales. Okay, we got into feet on seat sales organically. So we were also there कि नहीं हम तो क्या कहते हैं, we'll do it the scalable way, the digital way. That is how 90% of founders say कि अरे I don't want a sales team, and I'll just do it digitally. Like I'll do some growth hacking, acquire it, and I did that. Like in Misho, it was a very different thing, which is what we didn't have a sales team then back then. We basically did it all digital, and I was like, yeah, we'll do it digitally. But the thing is that ultimately you have to talk, see your customers and see where they are heading. And
Right.
ultimately, what we saw was that with Chistel, we're getting acquisitions very, very cheap. Okay, like install were coming at 2-3 rupees. We had a dream, and that's a pharmacy, and pharmacy is ex-customer, so CAC was instantly low. But we were not getting enough, basically regular usage. There were people had some doubts, and basically, because a pharmacy is very different from a typical customer. Like for example, a pharmacy has a lot of people, or in general, Kirana stores have a lot of people who are visiting the shop, and so you don't have a time to get up a phone call and all that. And basically, they are used to salesmen coming to the door and selling essentially. And we were like, hey, okay, let's do one thing. Let's experiment with a sales team, and we got some very very good results from a first experiment. That's when we started double down. So the
Okay.
important thing is you have to figure out what works or doesn't work for you. But basically, what works, then you have to respect it, and doesn't work, respect it. So there's no answer should I do sales or not. It depends on your TG, on the quality of the team, because running a sales team is also not that easy. So how quality of team, your TG, product, how much training it requires, stuff like that. So you have to take a call. How do you acquire it? But once you take that call, then you have to double and triple down. That is what is
Makes
kind of important. Yeah.
Cool. So, if I may roughly summarize this, so what you're saying is, so you have a product which needs to go to the customer. So your sales team not only solves for the acquisition problem today, they also solve for the activation problem. Correct?
Yes, exactly. So we don't incentivize. So that is, I think, incentives is a very, very big thing. So initially we incentivize for acquisition, but eventually because they were, then we didn't see the activation करके. Eventually we basically solve for activation, which solve both problems
Nice.
simultaneously, because you need people who stick with you. You don't need people to just acquire, right? This is not the time where you have to show downloads ultimately. So that is there. So it's very important for the incentives. We'll talk about incentives in detail, how to design it, but it's also the activation training problem.